Albania, a small country nestled in the mountains of the Balkans, a place where history has taken some of the darkest turns. After the ashes of World War II had settled, a new chapter began for Albania. A chapter defined not by hope and renewal, but by the rise of a dictatorship so brutal, so unrelenting that it's left an indelible mark on the nation's soul. This is the story of Albania under the unforgiving gaze of Enver Hoxha, a ruler whose name echoes with the chilling tales of tyranny and paranoia. Enver Hoxha, a name synonymous with oppression and control, rose to power in the tumultuous aftermath of World War II. As the leader of the Communist Party of Albania, he established a one-party state, a system that promised equality but delivered only servitude. He broke away from Yugoslavia, severed ties with the Soviet Union, and even expelled the Chinese after the Sino-Soviet split. In a world dominated by the Cold War rivalry, Albania chose a path of radical isolationism. International condemnation fell heavily on Albania as reports of human rights abuses grew louder. But Hoxha remained defiant, his regime cocooning itself behind a wall of secrecy and propaganda. Life in Albania became a tightrope walk between absolute obedience and sudden peril. Neighbors spied on neighbors, friends denounced friends, and families were torn apart by suspicion and fear. Anyone who dared to question the regime, anyone who dared to dream of freedom, became a target. The ubiquitous secret police force, the Sigurimi, roamed the streets, their eyes and ears ever watchful for any sign of dissent. Arrests were made without warrants. Trials were a farce, and the prisons were filled with those who simply dared to think differently. One of the most haunting legacies of Hoxha's regime are the bunkers. Over 170,000 of these concrete structures now scar the Albanian landscape. They were built along the mountains, fields, and even beaches, serving as potential defense positions against an invasion that never came. A testament to the paranoia that defined Hoxha's rule, these bunkers stand as silent, stark reminders of a nation held hostage by fear. But the regime's grip extended beyond the physical realm. It seeped into the minds and hearts of the people. Religion, a source of solace and community for centuries, was banned. Churches and mosques were shut down. Some were demolished and others turned into warehouses or livestock. Priests and imams were persecuted. Religious education was outlawed and public displays of faith were met with harsh punishment. For decades, faith in Albania was a question, something to be kept not just in the private sphere, but in the privacy of one's thoughts. The regime's official ideology, a perverse blend of communism and paranoia, sought to snuff out not just religious faith, but any form of individuality or dissent. By the time of Hoxha's death in 1985, Albania was a shadow of what it could have been. Cut off from the world, its people lived in abject poverty, shrouded in a heavy fog of propaganda and fear. Today, Albania stands free from the shackles of its past. The bunkers remain, though, like concrete ghosts scattered across the land, and the scars of religious persecution still run deep. The story of Albania under Hoxha serves as a stark reminder of the corrosive effects of absolute power, the dehumanizing impact of a regime built on fear, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of oppression. It's a story that must be told and remembered so that future generations can learn from the past and work towards a better, more tolerant, and compassionate world.